It's kit unboxing day. Hey everyone, it's Cathy Zielske. Welcome back to my channel and my studio. Today I'm going to be unboxing the latest card kit from Simon Says Stamp. The April card pick, the April card kit is packed and I cannot wait to get into this with you and show you the kit and the cards that ensue. As always, I have not seen the kit contents before I open the box, so it's as much a surprise to me as it is to you. Well, I guess I'm spoiling it for you by letting you see it here, but I'm very excited about how everything turned out, so let's get into the unboxing. That video is coming up next. Commence the unboxing. All right, take this out, and I am going to see if I can slip out the little sheet first so that I know what it's called. Oh my goodness. What? Oh my goodness. Okay. Wow. Welcome to the April 2023 kit from Simon Says Stamp. This is called Poppy Perfection. So let's dive in. Of course, sugar sustenance. Set that aside. Oh, you are going to get reverse tweezers from Simon Says Stamp. And I will tell you, because I keep these just off camera, these are my new favorite tweezers. I love these. If you've never used a reverse tweezer, what's cool is they always stay closed. You have to squeeze to open. And for people like me who have kind of wristy issues and it's hard for me to squeeze things, these are the best. I love them. That's so cool. All right, you are going to get, well, let's just take a look at this. One bag of Simon Says Stamp Gold Mix Confetti. Oh, Simon, do you know how much I love the gold? Do you know how much I love confetti? Confetti is the boop jam for me, and that makes me very happy, especially because it's got kind of an iridescence to it. Oh, that's very cool. Okay, you are going to get one junior mesh zipper bag. Now, you know our kits come often with bags like this, but check this out. This is just so great for like storing maybe that, huh? You know what I'm saying? Okay, that is very cool to have that little friend. Okay, you are going to get a set of Spectrum Noir Colorista colored pencils, an entire box. Okay, this is the bright and vivid, so you've got really bold colors. It says wax-based pigment color self-blending. Okay, that's going to be fun because I recently dabbled a little in using some Gamsol and also another safer than Gamsol type of blender. This is going to be fun, especially because with colored pencils, you have more control, I think, over how you are coloring. So we're going to set that aside. Okay, you know what? Close your eyes for a second. I'm going to flip the stamp set. I'm not even going to look at it. Okay, close my eyes. You are going to get one sheet of Scrapbook Adhesives foam strips. Hey, well, I love having a good foam strip in the house. Oh, that's nice. Okay, love a foam strip. Now, what is this? You are going to get some Tim Holtz Idea-ology transparent layers. That's actually really cool. We'll take this out because I have no idea. Come on now, Cathy, you can do it. What? All right, come on now. Come on, Tim. Let him out. Let him free. Oh my goodness. That is funky but chic. So little transparent layers to create designs with. That's cool. Look, I can even put it on the white envelope. Look at that. That's funky. Oh, wow. Okay. And this is a whole pack. So there's a bunch of things. Okay, they're printed on one side. Look at all of that. Look at that. Oh my gosh. That's a card. That's a card waiting to happen. I just actually had an idea for that. Oh, look at this. Okay, that is so cool. I love it. All right. I've not ever worked with anything like this before, ever. I've worked with, ephemera back in the day of being a scrapbooker, but not something like that. Okay, that is very funky. And I'm going to put these together. I'm going to pop this back in the packet because I do not want to lose them. We will be thinking about that. Okay, set that aside. Oh, and I put them in upside down so they look funky upside down. You are going to get one Simon Says stamp, white A2 envelope, right? Always nice to have an extra envelope on hand. You are going to get, oh, it's a mini Slimline, little coin style pocket envelope. And this is in Slate, so a mini Slimline in Slate. I love that. Now let's take a look at this gorgeous set of paper. This is from ModaScrap, and it is called Spring Poppies. Oh my goodness. So I guess there's a poppy theme here, right? Let's take this paper out and let's take a look. Is it single-sided? I think, oh, it is. And sometimes that makes me happy because then you don't feel so bad. Oh, and it's got a beautiful, like texture, like it feels good. It's not coated. And I kind of love that. Look at these beautiful little patterns. They're so cute. Oh, and the colors are so sophisticated. I love it. Oh, yeah, one side. Look at that poppy paper. Oh my goodness. And actually, if you play your cards right, you turn that into a card too. Might have to get a little crafty with that one. All right. That is gorgeous. Okay, setting you aside. Now, underneath here, we have also one of the Simon Says stamp clear storage pockets. And what is so great about these is they have this extra reinforcement on the side. They will hold a large stamp set like this Poppy Perfection. They will also hold some of the Tim Holtz Stampers Anonymous, and I know this because I have been storing mine in these, and I love the quality. So I have a bunch of these myself, and I will tell you they are wonderful, and they will hold your coordinating dies as well. They will hold coordinating stencils. Really great pockets, so you're going to get one of those to try out. Now we might as well take a look at our stamp set, which is called Poppy Perfection. Let's flip it over and look at the flowers. Oh, that is lovely. We've got an assortment of poppies, and we have just beautiful handwritten all-purpose greetings. It's your day, lots of thanks, love and hugs, happy thoughts, happy birthday, and then sending from all of us, wishing you. And of course, there will be coordinating dies that go with this in the Simon Says stamp shop, but we don't include dies in our kits because that would take the price up a bit. And so if you love the dies, be sure to check that out. I'll make sure to link those as well. I do not have the dies, but I do love poppies. We have poppies on the side of our house, and every year they show up when it's spring. Well, really when it's summer. They don't really start blooming until June in Minnesota, but that's a story for another day. That is gorgeous. All right, now I am going to look at the cardstock here. We are going to get some lipstick red cardstock. You are going to get Slate. Oh yeah, I'm kind of seeing how the coordination is happening here. And one sheet of the Neenah Solar White Classic Crest in the 110 pound, which is my go-to cardstock always. I mean, look at how nicely, oh, that is just right there. You throw a dark gray into anything, and I'm telling you, you have gorgeousness ensuing. All right, so look at all that. Look at all this goodness. Okay, and again, tweezers. Now I can have, oh, I love having an extra set. There is so much here. I need to noodle. I need to think about this because I want to start out with my first card. So let me let it all percolate, and then we will get right into card number one. Got to start out with this. So I'm going to take the sheet of the Neenah Solar White Classic Crest, and I'm going to cut at 4 1/4 right there. And I'm going to set that aside for my note card. Now, this is the cardstock I have a big stash of, so I always use more than what is in the kit. But hopefully it will inspire you to play around with some of the ideas, and white cardstock is something a lot of us keep on hand. So let me grab a couple dies for my idea. I am going to, I'm going to make like a floating panel. And I want to make sure that everything I'm doing is going to be big enough. So my brain needs to think right now. Okay, we're going to cut a panel. And then we're going to cut an inner panel that's going to be a little bit smaller. And I want to make sure that this panel will fully incorporate, but also give a little room for that to be adhered. And the answer is, survey says, yes. Okay. We're creating a window. We're creating a window that we're going to pop up. Yeah, you know what? I just had another change of thought. I'm going to make this a little bigger. Okay. Trust. It's all gonna work, because this is gonna cut my panel to be, I think it's 4 by 5 1/4. And now I will center this. That's the framing margin that I want. I want to have a little framing margin. I promise that once this is done, this is the most math we will ever do. And then I can save that inside too. So I'm not getting rid of anything yet. Okay. I also cut into one plate only, and I always leave the top plate clean. So let's go over to our die cut cam and run this through my Gemini Junior. All right, and that is the frame that was cut out. So let me set my plates aside, and we're going to move on to the next step. I'm going to use just a little bit of Connect glue on the edges here like this. Okay, squeezing it down like that. Okay, and what we're going to do is just align this so that it fits right onto this space like that. And I'm just going to take a piece of copy paper to do a quick burnish over, and I'm going to let that sit for just a little bit so that I know it has a chance to adhere. Because the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our lovely foam strips, right? Because these are so perfectly, it's like it was meant to be. It's like it was meant to be. So we're going to go one here at the bottom. And just to be safe, I could have gone even, let me trim that a little with my Simon scissors. There we go. I can even seal that top and bottom, so that's going to be held perfectly. All right, we're going to fill that in, and we're going to fill this in. And what I want you to behold is going to be the glory of this floating window. Oh my gosh, it's like so cool. All right, let me get my note card prepped. So I'm taking the remaining sheet of cardstock, and I'm going to score it right at 5 1/2. Of course, you could do this on another color, but I like the idea of the crisp white background. And like I said, I have more of this cardstock, so I like to use a lot of my white, and I will bring more pieces in as needed. I'm going to fold this down, and I like to press with my Teflon bone folder because it just doesn't leave a sheen, although you don't notice it as much on lighter cardstock. Oh, it's just so fun. I mean, it's like, why aren't you making a shaker? Nope. We are literally floating this, and it's going to have this beautiful, like, shadow. This is the, well, you know what? Hold on. A little more tape. This is the dream. I think sometimes we forget about just like floating dimension and how fun that can be. Let's see. Tape that down. There we go. This has to stay nice and flat so I can see what I'm doing. So let me stamp something for the greeting. I've already transferred my stamps into the Simon pocket just to show you how great it is. I love it. I love having these. Now here's the thing. I think what I could do is just stamp a simple greeting, and I think I'm going to have to fussy cut it unless, now let me think here, I'm thinking out loud, unless I just did a very simple from all of us and not worry about fussy cutting yet, and let's just keep it minimal, and then on inside it could be happy birthday. You know what, because this is so Cool, that's what I'm gonna do. Let me grab my Misty. Keeping it very minimal for this one. And so I'm just gonna say, you know what? I'm actually gonna turn it this way to save a little cardstock. In fact, if I'm being smart, and you know me, I love to be smart with this cardstock, rather than warp it, I'm gonna pick this up like that, and I'm just gonna cut it so that I'm only using really what I need. Okay. And I can save that piece. Okay. Pop this in here. And go ahead here and just kind of prime it a bit. I'm going to powder up the cardstock with my anti-static powder. We are going to ink up with Simon Says Stamp clear embossing ink, like this. Make sure that's over there, and I'm just going to press that with my hand. I think I'll go one more time, like this. Like that. All right. Now let's get some embossing powder. There we go. All right. Now I will funnel this back in and let me get my heat tool warmed up so we can melt the powder. All right. And now I have a nice shiny From All of Us that I can go ahead and cut out. I will go ahead and cut this out with one of my sentiment labels so that I don't mess up the cutting. Okay. Lift this up like that. And now I have this beautiful greeting. And what I'm wondering is, maybe, oh my gosh, it fits right. Oh my gosh, I didn't even plan that. Because I used the piece, oh, Cathy, today's the best day ever. But I think what I'm going to do is, I think, because I didn't center this and wasn't thinking that I would do this, I might just notch this edge. But I kind of like it just against like that. Wasn't planning it, but here's what we'll do. And again, you could turn this into a shaker so easily. I just don't want to, because sometimes, withholding that shake, you know what? It's okay. You don't have to use all your sequins at once, right? All right, so let's do that. Let's take that little notch off with the notch that comes with it, and I'll cut that out real quick. One thing I'm going to do really quickly is just take a little more off of this side, put the F right there, because I wanted this to be a little bit shorter. Okay. Of course, if you wanted to fill in some shaker, you could do that. I just don't want to. I just want this to just be glorious and have the shadow. Oh my goodness. Now, because I don't want to mess this up, I think I will take a little bit of liquid glue here and just put a strip along here on the foam, okay? Not a ton, just a little dab. It just gives a tiny bit of wiggle room. I don't always do this when I'm mounting a project. I do it a lot with greetings and anything that's on a foam square, but just thought I'd do that. And now I am gonna stand up, so hopefully my head won't get too far in the way. And we're gonna pop that right down on our note card. Oh my goodness, see, little wiggle room, little wiggle room. I hope I did, yeah, I did it on the right side. Just gonna let it sit for a minute, make sure that it adheres. Put my little Share Handmade Kindness paperweight on that. Give it a second. I think what I'll do is I'm just gonna pop this here, although this is where I got some adhesive. Let me get that off of there. Get off of there. Don't you mess up my masterpiece. Okay, I don't want to pop this up because well, see, I think it's kind of cute just on the inside like that. That's what I'm doing. I'm not popping it up. That was my gut. My gut told me don't pop it up. Now I've got my brand new clean tweezers. I'm taking these out because maybe I'll put a little ribbon. I love to have the cleanest of tweezers so that you don't, you know, mess anything up. I also love that you can have that clearance, right? And then you can see exactly what you're doing. So we're just going to do a little bit of glue like that. I don't want it to be oozing out. So see how light that is? Little dots like that. And I'm going to, well, let's see, it's kind of hard to see. It's kind of, you can't really see it at all. There we go. All right. I'm just giving it a minute to be a little tacky. And I think I will just bump it right over those numbers because I think that's a fun placement and I don't mind losing the number. Okay, it's pressed in. Want to make sure and go like that. And that, my friends, is card number 1. So you've got this very cool, it just casts these beautiful shadows underneath it. I mean, one panel, make your own frame. You have the cutest, I wanted to say coolest and cute at the same time. It's actually a cool one. All right, I need to go have a cup of coffee and just relax because this has just made me way too happy to start right out of the gate. Actually, I forgot one more thing. If you're saying from all of us, right, you got to have something on the inside. Let's stamp happy birthday on the inside. I'm going to pop this down on my brick or on my mat. I'm just going to pick it up with my Simon block so I know it's on there. I'm going to rub it a few times. I'm going to get a little piece of practice paper because, you know, it's nice to practice. And I'll just stamp it with some black ink. This is just Memento Tuxedo Black. Want to practice a few times. Okay, oh, that looks pretty good actually. Let's see. That. Hey, that's pretty good. The handwriting is so great. I'm just doing this to prime the stamp a little. And now, I guess I can zoom out a tiny bit. I'm just going to hold this open. Magnet there. Magnet here. Ink up. And happy birthday. I probably could have gone up a little higher, but there's the inside of my card. So, okay, that is the finished card project. Now we can move on. For the next card, I am going to do some stamping and coloring with my colored pencils. So here's what I don't know. I kind of love this big image like that, right? Because that's more to color. But maybe, what if I'm not good at coloring? So maybe what I should do is just take one bloom. Okay, I'm going to do one bloom. I'm going to stamp this first, and then I'm going to add one leaf. That way I can, you know, basically it's kind of that, let's start out a little simply. And I'm even going to kind of, well, maybe I'll do this. I'll bring it over a little on the door. So we're going to go like that. And I want to bring it a little bit more over this way. So I can do this because I'm not using the dies, right? If you were using the dies, you would not want to alter, right? If you were trying to cut it out. But all I'm doing is kind of getting creative with my stamps. Let me grab some black ink. Memento Tuxedo Black. Just ink this up and bring it down and press to transfer. Gonna hit it again. Oh, that is just beautiful. The detail is so lovely. I don't want to press too hard because I really do just want to keep all that lovely detail. So I'd rather stamp it a few times and press lightly. Like that. That is beautiful. So maybe what I want here is just a little friend right there, because it's just coming up from the ground, right? And then I can probably do my greeting off to the side. I don't know how this is going to look, but I think it's going to be fine. Ink you up, bring down, and press. Again, I'm not pressing too hard. Oh, that is almost like it was meant to be. Oh, I'm very, very excited right now. This card video is going so great. Okay. I love it. That's all I need. Now, let me think in my mind about coloring. In the world that I live in, poppies at our house are orange, and I thought it could be fun to do maybe an orange and a red combo. So, well, here we go. Look at this. I can just slide the tray out. Ooh, this is new. I have some Colorista products, but I haven't really played with them yet. I am going to take out the fiery red, and I'm going to take out the orange citrus. And I guess for greens, I've got two greens here. I've got pine green and fresh green. That is pretty rad. All right, so let's just slide you guys up. And there's even sort of a peacock green, and a deep ruby. So I've got colors to play with. And because I've never used these before, I would like to see what they look like. So I'm going to make myself a little key. That is fiery red. Orange citrus is. I would like to see the ruby, deep ruby. Oh, that's pretty too. We'll check out the fresh green, which is probably going to be perfect for the greenery. Oh, that's actually very bright. But I wonder, that looks more like the poppy greenery at our house. So I even wonder what would happen if you sort of blended a little over the two together. That's really pretty. So here's what I'm going to do. I am going to put some music on, and I'm going to add color in strategic locations. And then I am going to bring in a little bit of what I have here, which is Gamsol, and kind of blend out the color. So let's start coloring. Basic coloring. Let me grab a pen that I've actually filled with Gamsol blending solution. I am not an expert with this medium. It is called Gamsol. It is an artist grade mineral spirit, odorless, something you want to breathe in a bunch of. And because of that, I decided to put it in a pen. Because if I have it in a pen, I can go over and blend the color. And this is so cool. So I'm going to use my Gamsol pen that I've filled up in an empty Copic home, and we'll speed this up as well so I can blend it out. That is what it looks like once you blend it out. Now, this is a tool that I haven't done very often. Of course, you don't have to blend like that, but what it does is it gives you that look of, this. Now, I think I am going to add a little green into the center because my poppies, I think we'll do a little green and a little brown because the inside of my poppies always have a little of both. And I think, is there a brown in here? Well, now I don't have a brown. I wonder how I could make one. You know what? We're gonna futz this a little bit, and I'm just gonna put a little purple in the center. You know what? And that, if I mix over a little orange and maybe a little red, we're gonna create just enough in the center to look like that. And we'll just color it out a little. All right. Okay. I think that will work. And I'm going to take a little bit of the pine green too and just kind of... Here's the thing about when you use colored pencils with this Gamsol, usually you dip it into a blending stump, but I'm telling you, putting it in a little encapsulated thing like this, you are minimizing how much you're breathing it in. And then again, when you're done, even though you can see it on your tip, you just color until it comes clean again and you're ready to go. So that's the flower that I've created. And again, I'm no artist, right? This is, this is about, I'll come in here a little. That's about as good as it's going to get from me, but that's not bad. All right, let me stamp a greeting. I've positioned the love and hugs right here next to the poppy, which I actually think is going to be really cute. And I will prime this, and we're going to stamp and emboss this as well in the antique gold. Powder up, make sure that I'm in the corner there, and I will take my embossing ink pad, hold that, I'll transfer this once, like that. And that looks beautiful. I'm going to take a dry brush and just brush away where I was handling the cardstock quite a bit. It's hard for you to see it in there, but I can see a little extra powder. And now we'll melt that powder. Okay, and now I have that antique gold, that warm gold for my greeting. Let me get a die to trim this down. I love being able to cut after the fact when you're not 100% sure what you're doing. And I think that is going to be so pretty, cropped just to the edge. So I will tape this down before running it through because I do not want that to shift at all. And I'll go ahead and cut that out for my card. To finish off this card, instead of using my foam strips, which I like to use for more specific things, I just grabbed some of my Big Mama's tape roll from Simon Says Stamp and popped these on the back for a little dimension. All right, my note card is a slate card base, which I thought would look good. I love oranges and dark grays, and so we are just gonna pop that right down onto the card base, and look at that. It's so elegant and simple. And that's the finished card. I am not going to add sequins or anything. Sometimes I love the simplest of designs, and look how pretty that is. So using colored pencils, right? I just got a look that makes me look like I'm fancy. All right, let's move on. For the next card, I was inspired by the Slimline envelope. So I have a piece of cardstock here, and I have trimmed this, just let me double check here, to 6 1/4 by 6 1/4 inches square. And I'm going to bring in my paper I'm gonna bring in my scoring tool, grab my Teflon bone folder, and I want to score this at 3 1/8. So how am I going to do that? Let me grab my other score tool. When in doubt, bring in your other score tool, because this one actually has the measurement that I need, which is 3 1/8. The other one may have, but you know what? Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna pop you right in the groove and score you at 3 1/8, okay? I just don't use it that much, but now I realized that now I have a reason, because it gives me smaller measurements. All right, now I'm going to press this down like that. And here is the fun thing. So now I have my little, my little card that's gonna fit inside my mini Slimline. And I had 2 ideas for this, but actually I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna trim a panel down so that I can use this beautiful paper on top of this note card. So let's go ahead. I'll grab my paper trimmer. I'm going to cut this right at the 3-inch mark, okay? Like that. Now, it's just so pretty, right? Because it's all paneled together. But what I want to do is I want to take a little bit more off each side. Okay, so we'll go here. Let's take a 6, well, you know what? I'm going to take an 1/8. Like that. I'm going to flip it, and I'm going to take another 1/8. And let's see where we're at. Sometimes with this kind of design, you just have to keep cutting until you get it. And now I'm going to take literally just a little sliver off each. Let's go a 1/16, flip it, and a 1/16. So now I have, hopefully, a lovely little piece that fits just like a little patchwork, just like I planned it that way. All right, moving on. I am going to take lots of thanks. I'm going to stamp it right on here. Now here's the question, and I think I just answered it. I'm going to stamp this in embossing ink and emboss right on this paper. Now that's not something I've done very often. In fact, this might be a never have I ever, because I don't think I've ever stamped and embossed anything on pattern paper. Anti-static powder. Great, I love it. Can't really see it, but. And again, we'll take our clear embossing ink, make sure that is in the corner. Bring that down and transfer. Like that. All right. This is a whole new world. But let's see what happens here with our powder right in that little center area. Oh, I think that's going to be great. All right, now, because it does warp, it's going to warp a little more, but now I have my shiny little lots of thanks. And I think that's subtle, but I think it's really fun. All right, I'm going to actually just pop that in a book for a second, let it flatten, and then we'll glue it right down to the note card. While I'm flattening that other piece, I'm just going to stamp right onto the other side where the pocket folds here, right? Because I don't want to mess up the adhesive. But I thought it would be fun to kind of have a coordinating envelope. So let me powder this up. I'm going to take my embossing ink like this, bring it down, and transfer. I think I'll do that one more time. The fun thing is too, you could just leave it like that and let the embossing ink just dry for that tone-on-tone look. That would be very cool too. All right, opening you up. And of course, for the outside of the envelope, I'm never worried about it being perfect because it's an envelope. It's gonna take a beating in the mail too. All right, let's get the powder for that. All right, sprinkle it on. Tap it off. And now look at that. A beautiful, a dress goes there. Probably have to put extra postage on because of the odd size, but I love it. All right, I will buff this extra powder away as soon as this is completely cool, and then we will create the final card. And now I will just add tape runner to the back of this. Sometimes I'll just do it on a little bit of scrap paper here. And excuse my head here if it gets in the way. Looking at our margins on the top and the bottom. Oh, look how cute that is. And then just press it down. That is such a simple design. So you've got your cute little lots of thanks with poppies, and then you have a little coordinating envelope to pop it into. Wanted to keep one really simple. That is just using the products just as they come in the sample sheet. So don't forget about your sample sheets. All right, moving on. For the next card, I want to keep working with the pattern paper. And I think what I'm gonna do is cut myself a handful of strips, glue them to the cardstock, and cut out a shape. So let me grab my paper trimmer and I'll cut some strips. All right, I have my strips and I wanted to go this way with the pattern because my idea is to take a shaped die that I have and I am going to cut out a shape. But I thought I'm going to do something that's going to make strips a little easier, so let me grab my adhesive. I am going to take a fresh sheet of Simon Says Stamp micro dot adhesive, and I keep my adhesive sheets in one of these pocket folders, and I'm going to add adhesive to this piece of white cardstock this way. So it's going to be easy peasy and breezy. This is going to save me, let's put it right there. This is going to just save me time because, you know, sometimes it's nice to have different options for adhesion. So I'm just burnishing my dots right onto the cardstock. And I'm actually going to cut this out because this is a rather large section and I don't want to accidentally come back to this dot adhesive and wonder why there's no sticky. So I'll just put this right back in and I know that that sheet is full of adhesive except for the part that I cut away. I am going to just put this on here for now. And I'm going to just peel this away and peel this side. And now I have adhesive all over the back of this cardstock. Now I can just start to layer in my design. And I'm gonna try to get it at an angle. And we're gonna go like that. I'll actually just pull some as I go. And I'm going to work all the way across the paper. I have all of my pieces here and I actually got it a little off up here, but you know what? I think that's going to be okay. And what we're going to do is we're just going to trim off that part of the adhesive. Cut in, oh, a little sticky there. Cut this just to make it easier for cutting. And that. And that. This would be fun for any kind of panel background, but I am cutting the part with the adhesive on it just so I don't end up adding adhesive to, oh, it's already stuck. It's just a random shape, right? But I am going to take a heart-shaped die and cut a heart. Now I'm going to use a die from my collection. This is the Simon Says Stamp Nested Rounded Hearts because I love the shape of this heart. And I'm going to get my plate out. And we're going to have as much of this pattern, I guess, I mean, I have more than I need, that's for sure. But look how pretty that is. Or do I come up? Nah, I like it like that. I'm going to tape this into place and run it through my machine. Now, I will take this apart and pop out my little patterned heart. Isn't that sweet? I am going to make a little base, so I do need one more piece of white cardstock. Let me grab that and I'll show you how to do this. So I've taken a piece of white cardstock. This is actually an 80-pound cardstock that I have in my collection, and I'm just going to score it right in half like this. So this is an 8.5 by 5.5. It's just like if I were making a card base. Give that a nice score. And then what we're going to do is just cut a shaped base using the same die, but we're going to make sure that we keep it just a little off like that so that this becomes a shaped card, right? Very easy to do this. And because this is the 80-pound paper, this should cut no problem. So let me cut this out. All right, I'm just going to double check that it cut through, and yes, it did, no problem. So now I have my little note card base that I'm going to glue this onto, and then that will be a little shaped card that will open just like it was made to be. So let me get some tape on the back of that so I can glue that on. And I'm actually going to put the tape on this part of the card because I don't want to put tape on the part that sticks up and over. And now I'm just going to line this up right onto the base. Get that up in the right position and press like that. Give that a nice press. And now I have a sweet little shaped card. Isn't that cute? All right, I have a fun idea for the greetings, so hold tight. I'm going to stamp something and we'll pop it on. I'm actually going to show you this because I should have done this first, but I didn't. I'm giving myself the vision of having from all of us be right in the center of a 1/2 inch. And that's how I'm setting this up to stamp. Then I'm going to have to cut it again to fit on here, but it'll all make sense in a second. So let me go ahead and just get this stamped and embossed. All right, that looks lovely. And now I am going to trim this. So let me grab my paper trimmer. So now I can put this in here. It's at 5 inches. If I go right to 5.5 and I cut, I am going to have a nicely centered greeting. Let me see if that is yeah, that's the right size. That's what I'm looking for. All right, let me figure out the crop on this with the die. I'm going to pop this friend here, right in the center, kind of visualize it to the best of my ability so that it covers up that strip, okay? Then we're going to tape you into place. Then we're going to take this heart die and get it right back into where it needs to be, like that, okay? I think that's right. And then, oh, now see, I have these tapes and I can't access them. Hold on. One there, one there. Okay, back into place. Highly trained professional. I'm sure there are other ways to do this that might be a little more efficient, but this is how I'm doing it. One there. And one there. Okay, so we're holding you in place, picking that up, and I'm going to cut this out really quickly and see if it works. So now, yes, it's going to work great. I am going to put some of my foam tape on here. So I'm going to pop you here. Oh, it fit like it was made to, like that, okay? Oh, that's perfect. Perfect. All right, take the backers off. And again, I'm going to get some liquid glue on here just for that little bit of wiggle room. I think this is going to be beautiful because even if you catch a glimpse of underneath it, look at that. It fits in there like a puzzle piece. Oh my gosh. Okay, I think that is so fun. And now that this is, I could add some sequins to this. Let me see, would that look cute on here? I don't think it needs it, no. Do you want to see a fun way to make a square envelope? I mean, we're already here, so let me get that white envelope from the kit. You can turn any USA2 card into a square card, and it's so simple. You just need an envelope. You need some sort of sticky tape. So what you're going to do, you're going to put your paper in, and you're going to come in and take a 1/2 inch off one side, flip it, come in and take another 1/2 inch off the other side, like that, okay? Then you're going to open up your envelope, And usually what happens is these little pieces, they'll just come right off. And now what we're going to do is add our own adhesive. And I just realized that I don't have the Terrific tape in the smaller, but I do have the Gina K Designs tape. So what you're going to do, you're going to take that little thin 1/8 of an inch tape and just put some on the inside of that little friend. You try to cover the whole thing if you can. I just kind of measure with loosey-goosey, like that. Drop it down. Well, I think we're getting there. And actually, if you're a little long, that's fine too. We're just gonna snip, okay? Like that. Then press it down, burnish it nicely, and I'm going to release the release paper. Again, I would normally go all the way up on this, but I could add a little more. You know what? I should close that little tiny area up because it's the way your envelope is sealing. So try to measure it like that. There we go. All right. We're gonna go like that and release that backer. Then all you do is you close it like that. And that creates a small square envelope, which is the perfect size for something like this. Then if you want to, you can round the corners. I think I'm gonna go for 1/2 inch with my little crocodile. Love these tools. My holdover tools from scrapbooking clip. I didn't do a great job there. And clip. That way you have kind of more of a finished look for your envelope, but check it out. Your cute little card fits right inside. You would tape it up. You would put lots of, what do you call it? Postage on it. And then too, we could stamp something on the outside like a single poppy. In fact, I think I'm going to do that. And I'm just going to take a nice neutral ink. This is flannel from Simon Says Stamp. And we're just going to stamp a little gray friend right on the outside. And then when this dries back, oh, look how pretty that is, right? We just have that. You could do more on here. You could, well, let's just do it. Let's grab some greenery. I'm kind of feeling the whole envelope thing today. And I love gray on the outside because it doesn't draw too much attention to itself, but it gives you this sort of pretty subtle look. And then of course, that is on the inside. So that is the finished card. All right, moving on. For the final card, we've made it through with no boops, and that's just not going to do. And so I am going to revisit the design of the first card, but I am going to make a shaker. So let's do this again. Now I created a slightly different frame. I think this is a little bit wider than the other one, and I am going to use a white note card. But I thought that this gray would look so pretty with that butterfly. So let's get some adhesive on here. Now here would be a good place where I could use the Simon Says Stamp Terrific tape. Now I have the right size at the right time. So let's take some of that, put it right on the, because this won't have any oozing at all like liquid glue can. And I think this is going to be great. It's really easy to tear. Pop you there, down. All right, so tape is on. Release the backers. Very easy to get this off. That's why I do really like this tape. All right, and now all I need to do is make sure pretty side is facing the table, and we're just gonna pop that. Oh, I guess I could have gone all the way down with it, but that's fine because I was kind of hoping the butterfly would be a little bit more up at the top. So now I have the beautiful butterfly. So let's go ahead and do what we did before. Now this time I am going to have to complete the space to make sure that I don't leave any paths where the foam tapes could escape. Wait, sequins, foam tapes. I don't think the foam tapes are going anywhere. I think the foam tape is staying right there, but we are going to close up the gaps. Okay, we're coming down, and oh, I was a little short. It's a tiny bit short there. You know what? It's okay. We'll just do that. Okay, I think the shaker well has been created, and I think that's enough. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do that I've never done, and that is this. I'm just going to sprinkle the shaker fill right into the card center. I never do this. Okay, I've seen so many people fill their cards this way, and I guess what's so great about it is that you know that you're going to place this down in a way that is not going to go all wonky. So let's take the backers off. Also, the sides of this foam tape are not sticky, of these strips. So my foam tape is just sticky on the back, and the sequins should not, you know, stick in any inordinate sense of the word. They should be fine. But I am going to put liquid glue on this again so I have that little bit of wiggle room. I'm going to get my head just a little in the way here, but oh, the static is picking it up. Pop that down and wiggle into place. That's why I like the liquid glue. Look at that. Gives me just enough playtime like that. And now I will again take my little, where's my little glass brick that I love so much? Here we go. Just put a little weight on that. Let that glue adhere. Share handmade kindness, read a sweet greeting. And that was funny that the sequins picked up. I could feel them. And I thought, what is this magical thing that we're doing? Oh, look at that. Now that's a fun shaker card. Oh my gosh. Okay, loving that. I do need a greeting. So I think, oh, do I want to try to fussy cut something? Let me take a couple stabs. Let me stamp some things out first. I have two stamped options. I have a white one and a gray slate. I wish I had the dies, but I don't. So what I like to do is I like to get a little close just to get some of that excess off. See, that's my fussy cutting. I'm joking. Surely you joke. Although, you know, no, this has to be fussy cut. And it might, okay, so there's that. Then we'll do the same over here. Little hot tip though. I stamped this on 80-pound cardstock. Why? Well, it's easier to fussy cut. And it's great, right? It's just a little easier. So we're taking that off, and I'm going to put some music on, and I'm going to do one on camera. So please enjoy, because I'm going to speed this up 7,000 times the percentage. And oh my goodness, just know it's not my strongest skill. All right, now when you fussy cut, oh, I don't think I can do another one. I think it's gonna have to be white. I don't think I can. All right, we're gonna do that. I'm gonna do that, okay? You take, oh, I just bent it. Oh no, no, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. You wanna take your bone folder and just kind of rub it out a little bit. Press out those little bits and pieces. It will look better, I promise. Now, let me see. Do I have to have another option here? The reason why I thought the white would be nice, yeah, it gives contrast. Sorry, little buddy. Let me get some of that foam tape on the back of this. So I have my foam strips all placed on the back. I left that open because that is the side that is going to overlap a little on the, I just didn't want that to be a different height, and all I'm going to do is just have it bleed into that a tiny bit. Oh, that is, look how fun that is. So now I have this shaker card, this birthday card, and again, I don't think my fussy cutting is horrible. I mean, it's, you know, it's what it is, but if I had the dies, that would have been brilliant. And then I would have tried another option, but I think that I did enough for this one. And that is just one big boop contained in the shaker. So that's the finished card project. All right, let's take a look at all of the cards together. I think this is the most eclectic group I've done since I started doing kit unboxings, because they don't really, there's just something different happening with all of them. So if we look at card number 1, right, let me zoom in for each one. I still think this is so cool because you have this way of catching the shadow and the light, well, that, and it's so graphic. The design is so funky. And of course, when we open this one up, I know there's a little tape in there right now. It says happy birthday. Ah, so I love that. Then we moved on to this friend using the colored pencils. And you know, I'm not the world's artsiest person when it comes to coloring, and I think that is really pretty. It definitely looks like a poppy that grows on the side of my house every June, so we're gonna call that a win. For this card, I just wanted to take the sample of the front sheet and create this fun little card, mini slimline with the matching envelope. I don't do a lot of mini slimlines, but I just love the size, and this is just a perfect little thank you card that I could tuck in the mail for anyone. Although I won't be keeping this, I'll be sending this in to Simon Says Stamp so they can share what I create with more friends. All right. Then we have this, and I just think the combo together, the envelope, the little bit of poppies, having a shaped card, right? So easy to do. Strips, and I still have full panels practically of the pattern paper that I could do any kind of piece together type of card. And so I'm excited to have that pattern because I think it's really a really fun pack. And then the last card, this is so fun. A little shaker, the transparency, which is beautiful, and a simple greeting, happy birthday. Those are the finished card projects today that I am so grateful that you were here to watch. If you'd like to become a subscriber to the Simon Says Stamp Card Kit, you can. I have links below that you can check out and sign up, because having this goodness show up on your doorstep, well, it does not suck. And I will say this. These kits have challenged me to let go and have a little more fun and not get really weird about making the perfect card. I love unboxing and not knowing what's coming and just sitting here playing and recording it and sharing it with you. It has been so good for me as a card maker to help me really explore different styles that I might not normally choose, different products that I might not normally purchase, and this has been so good for me and my channel as a whole. I will have a link to my blog post if you want to see these photos and a few more photos and more details, so be sure to check that out. Again, you can find all of that information in the description box. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you back here with another card project soon. To see more kit unboxings that I've done in the past, check out the 2 thumbnails I have linked for you below, and I will see you in those videos.